Well, I'm sure Imran's already familiar with what I was going to say because I actually had this kind of thought recently. Yeah. So one thing that how do I say it? I had a little bit of a doubt recently, about 2 months back. Um, and yeah, basically what I was thinking about was at the time when Islam first came out, right? When the Prophet ﷺ first got the revelation, and as Islam was spreading, there was a whole part of the world till now, like for example, the Asian side of the world. You have your Japanese kingdoms, your Chinese kingdoms. You have all of your inhabitants, your natives from different islands or North Americas. There was a whole world there that's so such a large population that carried on unaffected, never heard the message of Islam in all this time. Until now, even if they do hear of Islam, the message is probably distorted, or Muslims are terrorists or whatever it is. And yeah, I just, for me, that it troubled me that if Islam was the true religion, then so many people from the time Islam was, well, we know Islam was there from the beginning of Adam alayhi salam, but I'm saying when the message was clearly, the final messenger came onto earth and the message was clear, so many people from that time till now never heard of the message at all. So that was a doubt I was sitting with, and after a few weeks of talking with Imran and trying to get to the bottom of it, we found some hadiths about how the message of Islam, if you never hear it, if you received it but it was distorted, then on the day of Qiyamah is it's a different kind of trial for them. But I wanted some clarity, Ismail, if you could if you aware of that hadith, or if you can get a bit of what I'm trying to say or ask.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
have
So,
any?
so I think
Yeah,
there's a few thoughts on this. I think there's two separate discussions that can be conflated in one, and that
yeah,
is that okay. So the message of Islam came, but it probably missed, like, say, I mean, okay, if we take from the time of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam till today, it probably missed about 60 to 70% of human beings never heard of it,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
So that could, the objection could not come from whether they're going to be punished or not. It could just be an objection. This is what I've heard from some atheists also, an objection coming from the angle or the perspective of, okay, well, if this message was meant for everyone, why did it only go to so few people? Right? That's like one
Mhm.
objection. And then another objection, which is obviously very linked, but it's separate, is that if these people did not hear the message of Islam, then what will be their fate, right? So
Yeah,
this is very, very thoroughly discussed. It's the second one, the second point. What will be the fate of those people? The fate. It's thoroughly discussed by all of the ulama, because there are hadith, as you mentioned, on the topic.
yeah,
And there are verses of the Quran also, وَمَا كُنَّا مُعَذِّبِينَ حَتَّى نَبْعَثَ رَسُولًا, that we will not punish anyone until we send a messenger, and other such verses. So basically, when it comes to this, I mentioned earlier there's three major schools of Aqidah. Well, for now, we're just going to focus on two, the Ash'aris and the Maturidis. We can talk a bit about them later, but they both have slightly differing. This is one of the points where there's slightly differing views. So the Ash'ari view is generally that any person, and they refer to them as Ahlul Fatra or Mallam Tablughu Da'wa. Ahlul Fatra means someone who lived in that period between the messengers, when no messenger came, and Mallam Tablughu Da'wa, someone who the Da'wa or the religion didn't reach. So that sort of person in the Ash'ari madhab there's two views. One is that he'll be completely saved, meaning he'll go straight to Jannah. And the other view is what it aligns with the ahadith, that they will be tested. So there are certain ahadith, the chains are not the strongest, but when it's put together, it gives you the level of Hasan, and it's acceptable, where it says that certain categories of people will be tested on the day of Qiyamah, and one of them will be that person who didn't receive the message. So that's with respect to the Ash'ari madhab. Then the Maturidi madhab is a little bit different. It says that, okay,
mhm.
say you're a person and you never heard the message of Islam, you're not expected to like read Salah and stuff like that. But what you are expected to do is accept that there is a God, and accept that God is one and all powerful, and the major attributes of Allah. You're supposed to come to that, and if you do, and then you will be going to Jannah, and if not, if you commit shirk, then you will still be punished even if the messenger didn't come to you. So that's basically a summary of the views that exist within within the theological schools. Yeah, so I think that's what that second question.
Yeah.
Like, generally the feeling is that if the message didn't come to you,
Yeah.
you're not going to get punished for that, right? But what about that first point that, okay, if the messenger came, then why did he only reach less than half of the people? Uh,
Yeah.
why wouldn't a messenger come now who could reach everyone when there's technology or something like that? I know. So I think there it's because when we say Islam, as you alluded to this, that Islam has like two meanings, right? One is Islam is like Adam alayhi salam was a Muslim, but he wasn't a Muslim in the
Yeah.
sense that like he had 5 daily salah, fasted entire
Yeah.
Ramadan,
Yeah.
and all of these things. He may have read salah and fasted, but it would have been different. There was a different Sharia that they were following.
Different Sharia
But
at
he
the
was still a
time. Yeah.
Muslim in the sense that he submitted to God in the very broad sense, right?
Yeah.
So, and then you have Islam as the Sharia of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, which is called Islam, right? So I would say that uh, Islam as being the truth and every person needs to follow is it's aided by religion, but a person who religion didn't reach can still get there using the other signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that are there to guide him, like the world and stuff like that. And all he has to do is submit to God. So it's an individual test for each person. The religion comes as like an aid and a guide and something that shows you the right path. But it doesn't mean that, if the religion didn't come to you, you're still not tested by trying to follow Allah, by trying to be good and all of these things. They still sort of do exist. So a person can have a sort of Islam in the very broad
Yeah.
sense whilst not like really receiving the message in and of itself. So I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah.
No, it makes sense. Yeah. My yeah. As soon as I had had a look at those hadiths and did a bit of studying into that, I became very comfortable with the answers that I found. My only thing that I worry about is 2 years ago, before that, I don't know how you say it, there's a sense of lifelessness in me, kind of part of the cattle that's just going away from the herd. I just feel awake now. Yeah, not awake, like halal walk or whatever it is. I just feel like I have a sense of every time I look out the window or I notice Allah signs, like previously I was blind or I didn't really realize, but now it's like, even before I accepted Islam in my heart, I could feel something, like something guiding me. Or yeah, so I get what you mean. I get what you mean, that even without religion, there is something that can make you feel spiritual in some way, and pursuing that will eventually get you to the truth, and that's what we're here for, right? Yeah. So yeah, no, I'm satisfied with that answer.